Hello, everybody. Um, I just wanted to give you guys an update of where I'm at. So I have been tapering for about a year and a month now. It sounds intimidating, but it's really not. Um, the whole process seems intimidating, but it's not. When I began, I did think that it was going to be hard. And I think that a lot of that came from doing the research of doing a taper. All the videos that I found were incredibly scary. And it really put it in my mind um, that it was going to be this incredibly hard thing that was almost impossible to do. And I can't lie, every single video out there really put me into a a loop of anxiety, is what I'll call it. I'll call it a loop of anxiety. And once you hit a loop of anxiety, it's really hard to come off of or come out of an anxiety loop when it starts when you are in the thick of it. Nothing seems possible when you're in the thick of it. And I wanted to do something different, as I've mentioned in many of my other videos. I wanted to do different videos to help encourage people and to show others that this process does not have to be something that is terrifying. It doesn't have to be something that wrecks your life. It doesn't have to be something that somebody else told you that it was going to be. Number one, we are all so incredibly different. There are billions of people on this planet. And out of all the billions of people, everyone's brains are different. No two people will have the same experience. You can have likeness in your experiences, you can have similarities in your experiences. But when other content creators of this particular issue or topic, when they've created their videos, they scare the crap out of people. They scare the crap out of people. And I did not want to add to that fear that people get when they're in a situation where your medication no longer works and you're having interdose withdrawals and tolerance withdrawals, and where you come to a point where you know you have to get off this medication, and the only thing that used to make you feel better was the medication that's now turned on you and has got you into a situation where you can't just stop taking it, but you feel trapped because you still have to take it in order to come off the medication. And then another thing that people run into is doctors, psych doctors, PCP doctors. Nobody really knows how to handle the situation. And so what's happening is the patients are teaching the psychiatric industry and the medical industry how to get us off these drugs. And so in the very beginning, I live in Alaska. I live in a very small town in Alaska, and we don't have many options um, for psychiatric doctors and medical doctors in general. But my first task was to find somebody that would help me. And so I looked online and I found the Ashton manual. And I looked at it and I said, I think I can do this. And then I went again online to the YouTube community to see if I could find someone that has done the Ashton method from beginning to end. And there was nothing out there. There was little snippets and little pieces and withdraw from benzos, withdraw, and there was all kinds of videos. And they all scared the freaking crap out of me. And I'm like, I don't want someone else to go through what I'm going through. I don't want them to feel the fear that I am feeling. And so I did something different. I took the expectations out of it once I found a doctor and I brought her the Ashton method. And I said, can we do this? And she said, absolutely. And so we started. And I was taking, I'm going into the whole thing, just in case people missed the story of how I got here. And I brought this manual to the psych doctor that I found and asked her if we could do this. And she said, absolutely. Um, and she had never done it before. She had never actually had anyone come to her to get off a benzodiazepine. Usually, it's people trying to get on them. Once you learn that they're not that great in the long term, once you figure that out, you're like, and then you have to figure out how to get off of them. Anyway, so she says, yes, we can do this. So I was on 4 milligrams of Xanax every day. And so it was 2 milligrams during the day, in the morning, and in the afternoon, and then 2 milligrams at night. And I got to a point where, in between doses, after 2 hours after taking a milligram of Xanax, I was already getting anxious. And the rebound anxiety was worse than the anxiety that I had before I even started taking the medication. So I was having interdose withdrawals and tolerance withdrawals. So the medication that I was taking, the 1 milligram, wasn't really doing anything. And so I was in a tough spot. So what we did first is we did a cross taper from Xanax over to Valium. And so I was on the equivalent of, so 4 milligrams of Xanax is 80 milligrams of Valium. And so the first couple of drops, the first part of the drops, I was dropping 5 milligrams every 2 weeks of the Valium. Now I'm going at a slower rate where I'm doing 1 milligram every 2 weeks. And so I've been doing this process for about a year and a month. And I just want to tell you of my experiences. In the beginning, it was hard because it's the beginning of something, and when something's new, it's like, oh my god, this is scary. And but I also wanted to help people, so focusing on others instead of focusing what's going on inside of me helped a lot. And to be able to talk to other people going through what I was currently going through helped a lot. And seeing that me telling my story and telling how I got here helped people, and it helped take some of their fear away. And that, to me, is it makes everything that I went through worth it. I'm not going to say that coming off of this medication, and I'm not completely done. I still have 7 milligrams to drop, and I'll be dropping 1 milligram every 2 weeks until I'm off of the medication. So January will be the last month that I'm on. I believe January 11th will be my last dose. And my doctor has been very, very supportive. And really the only symptoms throughout the whole entire thing, the main symptom that I get and still get is tinnitus, heavy ringing in the ears. And it's just something I've gotten used to, and it's not that bad. I have taken and I have made, I believe, my second video. It's my second or third video that I made of the supplements that I have taken throughout the whole entire process um, to help my brain recover. Uh, neuro neuro some words are so big they're hard to say. Neuroadaptogens, things that help you heal your brain, things that balance your glutamate, things that take away inflammation. Because if you're having inflammation, your body has a harder time healing. And so I have had some anxiety, but when I say that before I started the taper, my anxiety was at such a level, it was not normal anxiety. It was chemical brain injury, um, which I did survive. It was not pleasant, um, but it's survivable. It's survivable. Um, so for about 4 months, I was in a very, very terrible place. But once I started the cross taper, that started to dissipate. I did go through some depression, which I'm sure I mentioned in other videos. The depression was really, really big, but I accepted that. I accepted that that was part of the process. Some of the thoughts and some of these words could be triggering, so I'm not trying to trigger you. Just know that um, I did go through it, but it did not scare me because I knew it was a side effect of coming off of the medications. Suicidal thoughts were in the forefront of my mind constantly. Um, I don't want to say invasively, they were just kind of always there. And it's not, I wasn't afraid of them only because I knew I would not act on those. And I knew that it was because I'm coming off of this medication. And each time I dropped and the symptoms didn't get any worse, uh, made my confidence go higher. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And so each drop got a little bit easier. Each drop, a little bit easier, a little bit easier, a little bit easier. And I want to tell you that through this whole entire process, I have not had one panic attack, not one panic attack since the taper started. I have had anxiety, but I would have to say it's a normal level of anxiety, and anxiety that I'm like, that ain't shit compared to where I came from. From before the taper to the anxiety I have during the taper, it's nothing. That's what it feels like. Like I know it's there and I know what it is. So I'm not afraid of it. And I think that's one thing that has helped me through this whole entire process. I kept expectations out of it. I'm like, oh God, I'm dropping. I'm going to have symptoms. I didn't look at it that way. I'm like, you made it through that last drop. You're going to make it through this next drop. So mindset is a huge part of it, a very important piece of it. And when you start this process, try not to have expectations of how you're going to feel and accept how you feel at any point during the day. Because if you can accept it and you're not fighting it, there's less energy and you're not as tired. And so it's more tolerable. So this whole process has been, I don't want to say easy. It was not easy. Was it tolerable? Absolutely. Is it doable? Absolutely. Can anyone do it? Absolutely. Um, Another thing is some people don't realize that their words can be incredibly triggering. I did have someone comment, once you get past a certain point, um, don't change anything. Don't try any supplements. Don't change your diet because you're going to be so sensitive. Um, I think stating things in a way that it's possible that this could happen to you is a better way of putting it than saying this is going to happen. Because with somebody with heightened anxiety, the problem you get with telling somebody this is going to happen to you, then they start fixating on it and ruminating on that thought. And that's not a good place to be. So if somebody tells you this is a definite thing that's going to happen, toss it, toss it. As soon as you hear it or see it, just toss it, because everybody's experience will be different. No two people will have the same exact experience. So that's why I say leave the expectations off of it. Prepare. Know that you're going to be uncomfortable. Know that you're going to have to look at things in a different way. Um, Knowing that what you're doing coming off of this medication is 100% going to make you feel better when you get there. It's 100% going to make everything else in your life so much easier. Like the little things now that used to bother me and used to worry me, they just don't anymore. I'm like, I made it through benzo withdrawal. Everything else ain't shit. Like you get to like it's like I'm not afraid of hell because I've already fucking been there. I've already been there. I've already done that. I'm good. And I just want to be here to support you guys and show you that you can make it through this. And it does not have to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but it doesn't have to be hard either. And if you want, I can do another video on the supplements I take and why I take them, just an update video. If you don't want to go back and look at my previous videos, just let me know. Also, the supplements, because sleeping for some, when coming off of benzos, sleeping can get harder because a lot of us were put on the benzos to help us sleep. And so when you take that away, the sleeping goes back to, well, it's rebounded. It's usually worse. It can be worse. So I have found a group of supplements that work very well together. And I just want to tell you that all of the supplements I take, I get them all off of Amazon. I have had zero issues, zero, none, nada, no side effects from any supplements that I take. None. No side effects, no added anxiety, no added tummy issues, no added anything. They have truly, I believe, have helped me heal faster than if I hadn't been taking them, because I took particular ones for particular reasons to help rebuild my own brain's neurons and my own brain's chemistry. And people say, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, what do you think that the benzo is doing? It's changing your brain. It's changing your chemistry. Um, Antipsychotics, antidepressants, same thing. They're messing with your serotonin levels. They're messing with your um, serotonin, your dopamine, and your norepinephrine. It's messing with all of those. Why can't natural supplements do the same? Well, they do. They absolutely 100% do. They do help with those things. Um, so supplements, others will tell you don't do that because you will. I'm saying try it for yourself and you decide. Only you can decide what's good for you. All right. And I just want to tell you that I've had no complications with any supplements that I've taken. Zero. And so I'm down from 80 milligrams of Valium down to 7 milligrams. Zero panic attacks. And I have had anxiety, but I've learned to live with it, and it's okay. Anxiety will not kill you. It's actually a very natural thing. It motivates us. It gets us to move. It keeps us safe from things, you know. And then the only other really bad issue is, of course, brain fog and being kind of like "Ugh," and very tired in the middle of the day because you're doing this thing and your body's going through a lot and it makes you tired. It exhausts you during the day, but at nighttime it's harder to sleep. But the supplements I take, um, they work. They work well. Um, and I can make a separate video for those. I'll probably do that next time. Maybe this weekend I can. Um, Another thing that it helped me through this whole entire thing. This is a long video. I apologize. Exercise. Exercise is very, very important because when you have extra anxiety, you get the body vibrations. You're like, um, so taking walks, um, exercising. I have a spin bike. I have a squat machine, um, and I exercise about 5 days a week. And through that, cardio helps build your brain. It helps you sweat out toxins. It helps your depression. It helps your anxiety. It helps everything. And it also helps your heart. And it makes you feel good. And it helps every aspect of anybody's life if they can do it. So eating decent, I don't say eat perfect because nobody's going to eat perfect. Get a lot of fruits and vegetables, some grains, some fats. Um, I don't have any caffeine, zero caffeine. I haven't had caffeine in over a year. So no caffeine. And listening to books helps a lot. Painting, coloring, writing, um, things that keep you know, keep you busy, keep you from playing around in your brain. Um, but those all of those things have helped me very, very much. And the support of my psychiatrist, um, she's amazing. She's let me lead the taper, and I think I've mentioned it before. I think it's awesome. There's a couple of other providers in her office, and she has shared the Ashton manual with the other providers as well. So I'm helping teach our psychiatric providers here how to get people off of benzos. And it makes me happy to be able to do that. Would I go through this again? If I knew then what I knew now, would I go through this whole entire process again? 100%. 100%. Because I am so much calmer about every aspect of my life. I am so much more secure about everything in my life. So I've gone through this whole entire process. I've kept all of my relationships. I have worked through the whole entire thing. I haven't had to take any time off of work from this process whatsoever. Um, so anybody going through this, if you're just now starting, if you're in the middle, if you're at the end, you got this. Keep going. You are strong. You're stronger than you think you are. And when you come out on the other side, you get to help other people. And that makes it worth it. You get to educate others on how to get off of the worst medication that has ever been made. It's not like any other freaking medication that, I mean, I've also come off of antipsychotics, which was not fun. That was pretty rough as well. That was really rough, but not it. Nothing I would say is more challenging than coming off of a benzo. But 100% doable, and it doesn't have to be torture. It will not be tortured the entire time. I promise you. I promise you that it will not be tortured the entire time. Don't let someone else's experience dictate your experience. This is your experience. You are in control of it, and you will be okay. You will make it through this. You will. I promise. All right. It's been a long video. I do apologize. I will make another video, a new video on the supplements, because I believe when I did make the other video on the supplements, I was kind of sedated, um, because I was taking benzos throughout the day, and so you can just tell that the brain focus and process was not nearly as. I mean, I still stutter and have to think about what I'm going to say, but I'm going to blame that on my ADHD. But I will make some new videos on my nighttime supplements and my daytime supplements, and I'll tell you exactly the reason why I take them, and how well they work and all that good stuff. And if you have any questions that I can answer, just know I'm not a medical professional. I'm just telling you from my own experiences and the research that I have done. Please do your own research. When I do talk about the supplements that I take, I'm not necessarily recommending you take them. If you think it sounds good and you want to try it and it's safe to do so and it won't interact with other medications that you're on, then try it at your own decision. I'm not medical, and I don't want to tell you to do something that just do your own research. So listen to what I have to say. Do your own research on what I'm saying, and if it feels right to you, then make that decision on your own. And I just want to tell you guys, wow, this is a long video, almost 30 minutes. I hope if you hung in here this long, thank you. I appreciate you for being here and watching me for this long. Who sits and watches 30 minutes of somebody just rambling on about their experience of coming off of benzos? I would. Where I was at, I was so desperate, I was watching everything. But I pray for you guys daily. You're always in my prayers and my thoughts and my heart, because I know the struggle, and especially if you don't know anybody else that's gone through it, people don't quite understand exactly what's going on, and I understand. I've been there in a sense. I'm not going to say my experience is exactly the same as your experience, but I can identify with how you're feeling and how scared you are. And I'm telling you, don't be afraid. You got this. And until next time, I love you guys. Be strong. Have faith over fear.